Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Prashant, can you just confirm, please?
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Yeah, okay. Can you please bring Kalpen on the dais, please?
Sure.
Good evening, Kalpen.
Hi, good evening. Am I audible?
Absolutely
Yes.
audible, Kalpen. Thank you for joining in.
Pleasure.
Let me introduce Kalpen first of all. Kalpen doesn't need introduction, but he is the managing director or CEO of DSP Mutual Fund, along with whom we have started this new initiative called Jigyasa, a desire to learn. So Kalpen, over to you. Just a small introduction of Jigyasa and why did DSP Mutual Fund agree to associate with us, and then we'll take over the session. Thank you.
Thanks for inviting me, Sunil, and good evening, all of you who are listening to me. A lot of familiar names. Some of you I have interacted on social media without meeting you ever in my life, and that is the power of technology these days. So really nice to see very familiar names. Sunil, you asked me why did DSP think of partnering with you. I think the reason for this is very simple. We believe that this is a business of fiduciary responsibility, and we are like doctors to our investors. And for us to be doctors, we have to be constantly ahead in terms of knowing about investing trends, knowing behavior, knowing the right formulas for various asset classes, the drivers of risk, the drivers of returns, the knowledge of cycles across asset classes, whether it is fixed income or equity or gold or international asset class. So knowing, is a very important dimension. And to know, information is not enough. In today's world, information is in excess. In fact, information is overwhelmingly killing all of us. To know what is more important is curiosity. What is more important is the need for responsible curiosity to want to learn more, to want to understand more, and to join the dots so that we can add a lot of value to our investors. Our whole thesis is, see, we are not a very large mutual fund. We are not a very small mutual fund. We are a very old mutual fund. We've been around for 25 years. But we are also, we take this presence of 25 years with a lot of humility. And we realize that that does not give us an edge necessarily to say that we'll be there for the next 25 years. We will be there for the next 25 years only and only if our investors make money. And our investors will make money only and only if through each one of you, we are able to transmit the right ideas at the right point in time. Sunil, I have seen you do things like this for the last 2 decades now. And I've seen how when people used to use shortcuts to grow business, you used knowledge to grow business. You used techniques and rules to grow business. And I have resonated a lot with your concepts on fixed income, on valuations, on asset allocation, on even features. Someone who has done more value add to features than the industry itself is someone like you, Sunil. Where I remember the first concept you designed was, transferring of, I think, dividend from fixed
appreciation
income to equity,
from liquid to equity.
Yeah, and showing that alone can add 2 to 3% return on a base of 7% without losing capital. So very simple techniques which can, add great value to our investors. And sometimes we get lost in chasing the wrong dimensions of the business. We get lost in asking for what is the view of the future. Whereas there is no study done to see that most views have never worked. Most views have almost always been a random toss of coin. So I have always been inspired by this whole concept of evidence-based investing, and DSP wants to stand for that. And when we got this opportunity to present DSP, see, end of the day, we are all banyas. We are also selfish that this has to have some benefit for us. And I felt that the benefit to us was to position DSP as a knowledge-driven, evidence-based brand, which will add value to investors. And the second important point is, I believe that people who come on your platform are also people who are serious about this business of responsible investing. People are paying money to be a part of this network. People with experience of decades are still coming together to learn. And I think what more joy can a brand like ours get to be to be associated in an environment like this. So we are all students of markets, and in that spirit and in the spirit of learning with each other, we felt this is a great occasion to partner together with all of you, and likewise with you as well, and take this forward. So Sunil, with that, I want to wish this whole campaign a lot of luck, and we hope that we create successful investors, and we grow as soon as our investors grow. So with that,
thank you so much, Kalpen. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kalpen. And I can only promise from my side that this will be unadulterated, pure knowledge-driven series. There will be no biases either of the AMCs or the investors or the MFDs. It will be pure and simple logic, common sense, what will work for the investors at the end of the day. And those are the topics which we will try and cover. So both MFDs and investors, and of course AMCs, will definitely benefit. If investors benefit, the rest of the industry will also benefit. So thank you for joining in and kick-starting this Jigyasa. And I will start the presentation now.
Sure. All the best.
Thanks.
I'll carry you. Thanks.
Great, friends. So now let me just begin with the first topic of Jigyasa. Jigyasa, as all of you know, is a desire to learn. We are willing to share our experiences and knowledge of the last 36 years in the finance line and almost 26 years in the mutual fund industry. So together with DSP, we will try and bring you as many interesting topics, as many topical topics as possible, और वो आपके सामने पेश करेंगे, which according to me will be really literally gems of knowledge, which will be beneficial for the MFD community, so this is open to all. So it's not only for investors, it's not only for MFDs, it is for the wealth managers of banks also. I have invited them also today. It is for relationship managers of mutual fund houses also. All of us must learn with our own experiences and our own knowledge. So let me begin with the first topic. Prashant, just let me know if this is visible.
Yes.
Perfect.
You can start the show. Yeah,
sure. So the first topic is how to select schemes, and within that there are subtopics also, and those subtopics, as all of you must be aware by now, because I think you've had overdose of our invitations and our the small invites also, which were shared either through mail or through the social media also. The how to select mutual fund schemes, is it a qualitative analysis or quantitative analysis? Should we be investing in NFOs versus the existing schemes? One more topic which I'm going to discuss is, can we blame the AMCs for coming out with NFOs at such valuations? This is an oft-repeated question to me also. And finally, which category under current valuation should we be investing in the equity space? So far हमने जो भी किया है, this is based on the quantitative analysis. हमने कभी भी इतना ज़्यादा महत्व नहीं दिया है on the qualitative side of the selection of schemes. And how do we select schemes based on the quantitative analysis? Let me just showcase to you as to how and what do we do generally to select a scheme for investment. First, हम देखते हैं point-to-point returns के last 1 year, last 3 years, last 5 years, last 10 years, etc. Let's assume we want to look at large cap space. So हम ये point-to-point returns analysis of all the large cap schemes is what we look at. Then we compare it with the benchmarks. If the benchmark is Nifty 50 for large cap schemes, we will compare it Nifty 50 performance versus the benchmark and see which scheme has outperformed the benchmark. Then we will see the volatility index. Volatility index का मतलब है standard deviation. Higher the standard deviation, more is the volatile, that scheme is more volatile. And naturally, we try to avoid, this is one of the criteria, we try to avoid those schemes which has a higher standard deviation than the industry average or the industry norm. And finally, we look at the rolling returns analysis. And thanks to the efforts of Mr. Bond, yours truly, rolling returns analysis is now becoming popular, which was an exception earlier, and point-to-point was a rule rather than an exception. So ये एक हमने selection criteria किया था as far as the scheme selection was concerned. Selection based on point-to-point returns and rolling returns analysis, as in when I started speaking about this 26 years back, I also became a student of mutual fund industry because तभी ये 1995-96 में mutual fund industry started becoming popular on the private sector side. उसके पहले there were only public sector undertaking like UTI, kind of a mutual fund house. But after that, once the private sector came into existence and धीरे-धीरे हम भी सीखते गए साथ-साथ में, then I realized that rolling returns is a better criteria of selecting schemes rather than only the point-to-point returns analysis. So what we do is we do the point-to-point returns analysis. उसपे जो top 10 आते हैं, let's assume we do it for 5 years, last 5 years point-to-point returns. So July 2021 से 5 साल पहले का जो हम data इकट्ठा करेंगे, so that returns analysis and compare that with the rolling returns analysis. But in between हम अपने filters लगाते हैं कि मैं ये AMC के साथ काम नहीं करना चाहता हूँ. I'm not very happy with this AMC. Corpus is small. I've had a bad experience, or I've not looked at that AMC at all for whatever reason. So this is another filter which we apply while selecting schemes of an AMC. So if there are 42 AMCs, naturally, सब में तो आप as investors, you do not invest into 42 schemes of those 42 AMCs. You will have to have some kind of a filter. That filter can be one of them I have just mentioned to you is the point-to-point returns analysis. Then you may have identified only 10 AMCs that मेरे को ये 10 AMC के साथ काम करना है, उसके beyond नहीं करना है, उसके beyond मेरे को it's too much of diversification. So that becomes the second filter. Then the third filter can be कि इस AMC के साथ because the corpus is too small or the AMC is too small, मैं नहीं काम करना चाहता हूँ या invest इस schemes में नहीं करना चाहता हूँ. So there are various methods by which you have those filters either through your advisor or directly by an investor also. Based on this point-to-point returns analysis के जो आपने 10 top select किए थे, उसकी हम rolling returns analysis करते हैं उसके बाद. So if we are selecting equity as an asset class, we do daily 5-year rolling returns analysis. If you are selecting say dynamic asset allocation fund, we do daily 3-year rolling returns analysis over the last 5 years or 10 years, whatever is the period which you want to do. And based on that criteria, finally we select the schemes. So this is a pure quantitative basis based on which हमने एक selection criteria बनाया है. Individually as investors or through the mutual fund distributors also, and this has become more like a norm in the mutual fund industry. आप देख सकते हैं मैंने ये किया है जुलाई 2021 का, from July 2011 to July 2021 मेरे को देखना था कि flexi cap में which are the best flexi caps available in the market. तो उसका last 10 years का इसको बोलते हैं point-to-point returns analysis from July 2011. If somebody would have invested in any of these schemes, these are the top 10 ranked schemes. Of course, mutual fund industry में there will be at least 30 or 40 such schemes. But मैंने 10 इसको select किया है, which came out as the number 1 to 10 in terms of the returns potential, which they have generated over the past 10 years or a decade. After that, Mr. Bond, yours truly has created a ranking calculator based on the rolling returns analysis. उसमें हम three criteria देखते हैं. In fact, first of all, we look at the standard deviation के हिसाब से. We have something called investor high return score, which is the IHR score. So ये जो ranking आप देख रहे हैं 9, 5, 6, 1, 4, etc. is based on if the returns of this particular all these schemes are higher in higher returns band, then they will rank higher, and somebody who has lower returns in lower returns band, they will rank say 9th or 10th or 11th or 12th and so on and so forth. उसके बाद हम उसी IHR score को divide करते हैं standard deviation, because standard deviation का मतलब होता है कि volatility बहुत ज्यादा है. For getting some kind of a return on your portfolio, what kind of volatility are you comfortable with? Are you comfortable with negative 10% on one side and positive 20% on the other side? Or are you comfortable with 1% on the minimum side and maybe 15% on the average side? So ये जो criteria होता है, so that decides finally, because this is what I call investor experience return score, IER score. This is the methodology of Mr. Bond, which takes into account the returns potential of the scheme which it has generated. On top of that, it takes into account the standard deviation also, the volatility index also. And the third criteria is the industry average. Now let's assume the industry average for this period was 12.71%. What is the average? Industry average was 13.55% for this period. What percentage of observations of each one of these schemes has beaten the industry average? So if you see the, in case of DSP FlexiCap, almost 65% of the observations of this 5-year daily rolling returns basis, it has beaten the industry average of 13.55% for a period from 2011 to 2021 on a daily 5-year rolling returns analysis basis. So ये जो criteria है, it's entirely quantitative criteria, जहां हमने importance दिया है higher returns in higher returns band. We have given importance to the standard deviation, and we have given importance to both point-to-point returns also and a rolling returns analysis also. And this is the way we are selecting schemes in the current context. So to sum up, point-to-point returns and rolling returns analysis, bias towards a fund manager or an AMC. I like that fund manager, so I will invest in that particular AMC only. That's a bias which all of us have. Nothing wrong with that. Leaders change every quarter and every year. Unfortunately, आप देखोगे on a point-to-point returns analysis basis, आप देखेंगे, then the leaders will change on a regular basis. The current ranking methodology gives importance to the recent past performance. और हमारी जो ranking methodology हमने devise करी है, it does not give only importance to recent past performance. It gives importance to the consistency of returns over a period of time, the good, bad, and ugly of any scheme. So that's the criteria of ranking, which I would like to put across to all the viewers today for you to understand that ये जो आजकल की जो methodology है, that keeps changing the leaders every quarter, every year, every 6 months, and you are not expected to change your investments from one scheme to the other scheme based on that leaders changing. Never give importance to stock or sector selection. So far हमने ये कभी सोचा नहीं है कि ये स्टॉक में जो इन्होंने इन्वेस्ट किया है सही है कि नहीं है, ये सेक्टर इस माहौल में सही चलेगा कि नहीं चलेगा. तो that is part of the qualitative analysis. And in short, never gave importance to qualitative analysis so far. Schemes should be selected on both quantitative and qualitative analysis. And some of the qualitative analysis which we should consider is the fund manager's experience and track record. All of us are aware, हम सब fund managers को जानते हैं, हमारे साथ वो काफी टाइम जुड़े रहते हैं, काफी सारे conferences होती है उनके साथ, काफी उनके to and fro होते हैं, exchange of views होते हैं, you know, individually भी आप लोग काफी fund managers को मिलते हैं. तो all of us know कि उस particular fund manager का track record कितना है, उसने क्या बोला था, क्या promise किया था, क्या deliver किया था. Sector stock selection based on prevalent macros. जब मार्च 2020 में कोविड-19 का पैंडेमिक शुरू हो गया था, the macros were favoring the pharma and the health sector. So is that fund manager pushing in a FlexiCap? So I'm talking about FlexiCap right now. तो वो जो sector selection करते हैं, have they pushed their sector selections to the prevalent macros or not? Turnover ratio, how many times are they buying and selling? Do they have conviction in their own stock buying? Or is it churning every month? एक साल में कितनी बार पूरा portfolio उनका churn होता है is also an important criteria to judge a fund manager's track record and performance also. The higher the churn ratio, it shows that the fund manager does not have too much of conviction in what he has bought, or maybe there is a compulsion because of redemption pressure also. That's another criteria based on which the fund manager may have to churn their portfolio by buying or selling or whatever is the case in that particular period. Scheme to fund managers ratio. एक fund manager कितनी schemes देखता है? Is he looking at after 2 schemes, 3 schemes, 5 schemes, 10 schemes? Can he do justice to looking after 10 schemes? One particular fund manager. So a scheme to fund manager ratio also becomes an important criteria, which you should be asking the AMC के कितनी scheme one particular fund manager is looking after. If there are too many schemes he is looking after, maybe the concentration level of each fund manager into each scheme may be on the lower side. Frequency of NFOs. This is another topic which we are going to discuss today. Is the AMC only looking at NFOs to aggregate money or इकट्ठा करना चाहते हैं in उनके assets under management, or is it really a tactical call? किसी ने जो फार्मा का NFO निकाला होता है, हेल्थ सेक्टर का NFO निकाला होता है in March 2020, it would have been an ideal call. Or if somebody would have come out with an NFO in the debt space, if the interest rates had gone up to say 9%, at that point in time, it becomes a tactical call, or is it just to collect gathering of money? So जो frequent NFOs निकाल रहे हैं just for the sake of gathering assets versus tactical calls, ये आपको distinguish करना पड़ेगा. You cannot blame the AMCs for coming out with NFOs again and again. But ये distinction आपको बहुत जरूरी है कि is it just to collect money and increase their AUM, or is it really a tactical call which is going to finally help the investors? And finally, investment style, is it growth versus value? Is it top-down approach or is it bottom-up approach, etc.? So these are some of the qualitative analysis which you should look into. If you don't have the wherewithal, you can go to your advisor. Advisors can check with the fund houses and then give these answers to the investors also. Different phases of markets and different business cycles. So governments and central banks' response to macroeconomic situations may extend or shorten a business cycle. जैसे central banks across the globe came in extremely heavily by infusing liquidity into the system in the global market space to recover from that pandemic का जो situation था March 2020. It is one of the fastest recovery of the stock market. I'm not talking of the fundamentals of the markets. I'm talking of the stock market at least. The recovery happened. This was the fastest and the shortest recession period. जो March 2020 से May या June तक में वापस recovery हो गई थी. And all of us know from March 2020 to now, markets have delivered handsome returns. So government gets based on the government and the central bank's approach, the business cycles change, and that gives opportunity to the fund managers to invest in a certain sector or disinvest out of a certain sector and create a portfolio which will be beneficial for the investors. Again, a qualitative analysis of how it should be looked at. Different phases of markets and different business cycles. ये एक बहुत important criteria है, which you and I are not able to do that. I'm not blaming that I'm not saying that we should be replicating the fund manager's role, but some semblance of understanding of in which business cycle we are in, and in which business cycle what is likely to do well and what is not likely to do well, which sector will do well, which sector will not do well. इतना थोड़ा सा जो हम ज्ञान अपने तरफ लेके आए, that will definitely help us also to select the schemes by looking at some of the stocks which are there in the portfolios, some of the sectors which are there in the portfolios, and judging whether we should or we should not invest in that. Let me explain to you the activity during recovery phase, the early stage of recovery of the market. This is the business cycle recovery की बात कर रहा हूँ. It starts, the activity, the economic activity starts rebounding. In the expansion phase, it starts increasing. When the economy is maturing, the activity starts moderating, and in the contraction phase, it starts declining. Similarly, lending begins to grow. जो credit space जो होती है, जो banks जो companies को lend करती है and companies borrow करती है, during recovery phase, it starts to grow. The lending starts to grow. In the expansion phase, it's a strong expansion of the credit space. Lending happens even more at a faster pace. Then maturing, जब भी market थोड़ी mature हो जाती है, economic cycle mature हो जाती है, interest rate starts going up. That's the time when the tightening happens. By increasing the interest rates, the tightening happens, and then finally in the contraction phase, it starts to contract. Profits, they start growing rapidly, then sustained growth, then leveling off, and then finally declining in the recession phase. Inflation. This is a very important criteria for you to judge where we are. In the recovery phase, it's definitely on the lower side. In the expansion phase, when the demand starts increasing, the demand-led inflation will start growing. Then in the maturing phase, it becomes at the peak, the inflation is at its peak, and that's the reason why interest rates are reduced during the recession phase to kickstart the economy again. And then the inflation starts to cool off in the contraction phase. And the monetary policy, this is the crux of what the central banks do. It is stimulative. In the recovery phase, they will stimulate it with infusion of liquidity, lower interest rates, etc. In the expansion phase, they will become neutral, neither increase nor decrease the interest rate. In the maturing phase, it will restrict. And in the contraction phase, when the demand starts to decline, to infuse demand, they will start reducing interest rates to ask customers to borrow more, buy more, and so on and so forth. So ये जो business cycles जो होती है, वो जानना बहुत जरूरी है. And different sectors perform differently in different business cycles. Financials perform very well in recovery in the expansion phase, and in the recession and the slump phase, naturally they will not do well. Technology does well only in the recession and the slump phase, which we are seeing right now currently. Consumer discretion does well in recovery in expansion, and so on and so forth. So ऐसे जो आप थोड़ा qualitative analysis भी आप करेंगे, समझेंगे. I'm not saying you have to be an expert in all this, but to understand that where are we in the business cycle, which sectors should do well or not do well, and based on which, whether these particular schemes which are there in the market in the mutual fund space, are they having those stocks and those sectors for you to select and invest in that. So post these analysis, then the stocks selection criteria happens based on the businesses which they are in, the management also, and the growth prospects of those companies. So this is what qualitative cycle and qualitative analysis is all about. So quantitative plus qualitative is a requirement for you to select schemes and then invest rather than investing blindly. Now let's look at the current topic, which is a very important topic. Why current rush to launch NFOs by AMCs? मैं आपसे खाली एक लॉजिकल क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहता हूं. जो मार्च 2020 में NFOs आते, जब भी markets had corrected by 40%, you think they would have collected any money? Naturally, the valuations were the most attractive valuation for the NFOs, but would you as an investor have invested in that? Another question. मारुति उद्योग ने अपनी एक्सपेंशन करी होती इन मार्च 2020 के लॉकडाउन के बाद कि चलो मैं अपना प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाता हूं, सो दैट जब भी मार्केट में डिमांड आएगी तभी देखी जाएगी. ऐसे कभी नहीं होता है. सो प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड दैट AMCs आर मैन्युफैक्चरर्स, दे आर लाइक फार्मा कंपनीज. व्हेनेवर देयर इज डिमांड, दे विल डेफिनेटली प्रोड्यूस. आपको क्या कंज्यूम करना है इज इन योर हैंड्स. सो currently NFOs, because investors are willing to invest more and more, that's the reason why we are the AMCs are coming up with some of these products. They may be solutions, by the way. Some of them may be expecting that the markets may be correcting going forward, and the money which they collect in the NFO, they will be able to deploy at better valuations. So these are some of the criteria of on the AMC side, but they are finally manufacturers. जब ये Zomato का IPO आया था, आपने कभी भी Zomato के ओनर को पूछा, फाउंडर को पूछा कि at this level, at such valuations, why have you come out with this NFO IPO? Is it not very expensive? तभी तो हमने कभी पूछा नहीं था. हमको इन्वेस्ट करना था तो हमने इन्वेस्ट किया. किस्मत अच्छी है कि मार्केट चल पड़ी, उसके NFO के प्राइस डबल होगी. बट एज ऑल ऑफ अस नो, राकेश झुनझुनवाला ने एक स्टेटमेंट भी किया था कि मैं कभी भी Zomato में या टेस्ला में कभी भी I will never invest my money. I may want to lose out on these opportunities, but I will never invest. So at that time, you also had a choice either to invest in those NFOs or not invest in the NFO, either invest in those IPOs or not invest in those IPOs. The choice is yours. So stop blaming the AMCs for coming out with NFOs at these levels at current valuations. वो तो तभी लाएंगे जब भी there is a demand. There is a demand, पैसा आ रहा है, लोग इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं at whatever valuation at the current juncture. That is entirely your choice as to whether you wish to invest or you don't wish to invest. Can we blame the AMC? Let me ask you another question. What is this picture? Grocery store में क्यों दिखा रहा हूँ? Supermarket क्यों दिखा रहा हूँ? Let's assume that you have bought 5 kilo of sugar today from your grocery store. नेक्स्ट डे आप वापस जाएंगे वो ग्रोसरी स्टोर में 2 किलो और शुगर खरीदने के लिए, यू थिंक दैट द ग्रोसरी स्टोर ओनर इज गोइंग टू टेल यू, सर आपने तो कल 5 किलो लिया था, वापस 2 किलो क्यों ले रहे हो? इज नॉट गोइंग टू क्वेश्चन यू. Similarly, if a medicine like a paracetamol is repackaged and branded, कुछ और branding दे दिया उसको, just because it's a repackaged medicine, are you going to take double dose of that medicine? Please think. ये जो बहुत ही important question मैं पूछ रहा हूँ to the entire investing audience, including the mutual fund distributors, including the RIAs, including the AMCs, जो भी है म्यूचुअल फंड इसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट होराइजन में, whoever is attached to mutual fund industry, please answer this question and introspect and tell us. You know, there was one article which was very well written by the MFU के जो CEO है Mr. Ganesh Ram. उन्होंने एक स्टेटमेंट करी थी वहां पर, and I really like that statement. I'm going to reproduce. I have reproduced this statement here. Your investment experiences are based on the choices you make and the chances you take. Your choice was not to invest in the Zomato IPO after listening to the stalwarts like say Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, or your choice was to invest in that and take that chance. You took that chance, IPO का पैसा double हो गया, you are happy. It could have gone the other way around also. By investing in that IPO, and maybe the IPO would have listed at 50% or 20% or 30% discount. But it is your choice, and the chance is what you have taken in terms of your understanding of the market. So please introspect whether you needed to invest in NFOs. Is that a requirement of yours? Is that manufacturer going to tell you, sir, do not buy from me just because you just bought it right now? You already have a flexi cap. Do you want to invest in another flexi cap? That's your choice again. So stop blaming the AMCs just because you have made the choice and you are willing to take that chance on your portfolios. You always had a choice to say no. उसके बाद there will be, that is a chance which you are taking. उसके बाद markets ऊपर जा सकती है, markets नीचे जा सकती है. If you have a discipline based on the asset allocation which you are doing, and within that asset allocation you have been able to fit that particular NFO, well and good. What stops you from doing that? But just for the sake of that fear of missing out, जो FOMO जो बोलते हैं कि सर मेरे फ्रेंड ने इन्वेस्ट किया, नेबर ने इन्वेस्ट किया, सो मैं रह जाऊंगा, सो रह जाऊंगा वाला जो FOMO है उसकी वजह से इन्वेस्ट मत कीजिए. Control your emotions. That's the way to guide and understand whether you should invest in an NFO or not. And let me explain to you a little more in detail about this also. Existing scheme, known devil versus unknown devil. Existing schemes की आपको पता है कि इन्होंने अच्छा किया है, बुरा किया है, 3 साल का, 5 साल का, 10 साल का, 15 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है, ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है. Easy to track a fund manager's track record. Also, investment philosophy has been shared with you कि ये particular scheme है, इसमें ये मेरी investment philosophy है. That's the way we are going to invest in this particular scheme. All that is known to you because it's been there in the market for quite some time. Longer the track record, easy to judge performance is based on promises made in the past. Fund managers have addressed us many times, practically on a monthly basis, practically on a quarterly basis. और जो भी हमने सुना है, have they made up on that promise? Have they lived up to those promises? We are aware of that and we can judge that. Easy to even select a scheme based on its ranking and rolling returns analysis. जैसे मैंने दिखाया, rolling returns के analysis पे हमने ranking करी है. Good, bad, ugly जितना भी है, all the observations in that daily 5-year rolling returns analysis की जो मैंने बात करी, everything gets captured. So if everything gets captured, nothing is hidden. So you exactly know where you stand, whether you should or you should not invest in that scheme. And fund managers can buy more if they get more inflows during market meltdowns. जब भी market meltdown होती है, and ideally that's the time when you should be investing, when most of the investors are actually exiting. Fund managers have a choice of buying the same quality stocks which they have bought based on their own criteria, qualitative analysis criteria. They can buy more and more of those managements and those companies. But if we give them money at that point in time. Versus NFOs. Now let's talk about the new fund offering. Look at the valuations at the time of NFO. At the current valuation, if you think the NFOs or the IPO, nobody bothered about valuation. I'm sure all of you must have read the extra expensive valuation of the IPO of Zomato, but people still bought. They took that choice, they took that chance. Some are benefiting. At some point in time, it may start correcting or collapsing. We really have no idea. That will also can also happen. So look at the valuations at the time of NFO and whether does it fit your need and solution approach to investing. There is a need. I do not have pharma in my portfolio, and the current time pharma looks very good to me. If that is a need and it's a tactical investment call which you wish to do, or it can be a core investment call also, that I do not have any investments in equity, but I need to have some portion based on the asset allocation. I should be 30% in equity, and I'm only at 20% in equity. वो जो 10% का मेरा gap है, उतना मैं invest कर सकता हूँ into the NFO also. Is it old wine in new bottle or new wine in new bottle? जैसे मैंने बोला, आपको एक रीपैकेज करके पैरासिटामोल मिलता है, उसका मतलब भी आप डबल डोज दोगे? आंसर इज क्लियरली नो. तो ये रीपैकेज किया हुआ प्रोडक्ट है कि कुछ नया है उसमें, which makes investment sense from all points of view. Do you need to invest based on your current asset allocation criteria? आपका current, if your investment process is asset allocation, then naturally at certain valuations, you will have certain allocation to equity and certain allocation to debt. If under that asset allocation, that NFO fits in very well, please go ahead and invest. It doesn't matter at what valuation you invest, because you want to maintain that certain criteria or certain percentage of your allocation into equity at all points in time. So balance advantage fund की आप बात करो तो उसमें 30% minimum equity होता ही होता है. So something similar, if you wish to have at least 30% of allocation into equity, and because you don't have that allocation so far, 10% or 15%, and you want to increase it to 30%, again, it's your call based on your own asset allocation. But do not get carried away with FOMO, fear of missing out, just because the others are investing, and then select to invest in NFO. And NFO is worth only at opportune times like market corrections in a long duration debt, or NFO at interest rates at its peak, etc. Pharma or healthcare ka NFO aata in March 2020, it would have been a most ideal tactical call also. At the same time, it could have been a core portfolio also for you. So please weigh these pros and cons of existing schemes versus NFOs, and then decide whether you wish to invest in that. As I said, you have a choice to say no. And if you still want to say yes, then you have to take your chances. What is the new avatar of FlexiCap? So first of all, the old FlexiCap used to be what we used to call them multi-cap. And the new definition of multi-cap is minimum 25% in large cap, minimum 25% in mid cap, minimum 25% in small cap, and 25% based on the fund manager call. So fund manager can decide that 25% jo extra hai, I want to increase my large cap exposure, I want to increase my mid cap exposure, I want to increase my small cap exposure based on their own valuation and their own analysis. That is the new multi-cap now. But the new FlexiCap allows the fund manager, so all the old multi-caps, practically not all of them, but most of them have converted from the multi-cap category into the FlexiCap category. So wo FlexiCap mein, the fund manager has a choice of investing in large cap, small cap, and mid cap based on their own thought process and their own analysis, without this 25% minimum allocation requirement. And my preference, earlier multi-cap, which was in that where the fund manager could decide, should I be more in large cap, should I be more in mid cap, etc., is the new FlexiCap. And my recommendation has always been, even earlier in the multi-cap and now in the FlexiCap category, where you and I don't need to decide whether I should be so much in large cap, so much in small cap, etc. As against that, let the fund manager decide that and increase or decrease the allocation to large, mid, and small caps. I prefer to avoid market cap bias. Let me give you an example of 2015 when large caps corrected by almost 20% in 1 year, 2015 to 16. That's the time when a lot of people said, should I switch to now mid cap and small cap? 2017 or 2018 January, when most of the small caps and mid caps had delivered phenomenal returns over 2015, 16, 17, most investors started moving from large cap and getting into mid cap and small cap. And what happened to mid cap and small cap thereafter? As I said, investors become like drivers on a toll naka. They think that your lane where you are standing is not moving, so they try to switch the lane, then realize that जहां पर आप खड़े थे वो वाली line शुरू हो गई है. Similarly, they do, based on the past performance, based on that point-to-point returns analysis, they select asset classes looking at the track record of last 1 year, 2 years, etc. So because they looked at 2017 and 16 performance of mid cap and small cap, they invested in mid cap and small cap in 2018. 2018, 19 and 20, mid caps and small caps bled profusely और बहुत सारा correction आ गया उसमें, and only large caps survived during this period. 2019 में लोगों ने सोचना शुरू कर दिया, should we move out of mid cap and small cap by even booking losses? So ये जो होता है, when you try to become drivers on a toll नाका, आपका wealth creation कभी नहीं होता है. दूसरी चीज याद रखिएगा, when investors start chasing returns, you have to understand that there will be a downfall in your wealth creation. So avoid investment in individual market cap bias, large cap, small cap, etc. Let the fund manager decide that allocation. Always invest based on the asset allocation which you may be following. And finally, avoid FOMO. Look at the current valuation. So if you understand price to earning and price to book ratios, the current value, 23rd March 2020 by valuation was 17. Markets had collapsed. It had become a green zone as far as my algorithm was concerned. And our call on 23rd March was to switch everything into equity. Currently, we are at 27 PE and 4.12 PB on the Nifty 50. What were we in terms of market cap to GDP? 56 versus currently at 115. Market cap to GDP in the Indian context, the average has been 75 to 80. As against that, we are currently at 115. In the global context, in the US context, market cap to GDP 135 and higher. Warren Buffett says is you are in the euphoria or the bubble zone. They're at 200 plus. So at the current juncture, should you be taking call of investing in small cap and mid cap, looking at the past performance, which has done phenomenally well? So if you see this from 23rd March 2020 till date, this is the large cap. Blue line is the large cap. This is the mid cap performance, mid cap Nifty, mid cap 100. And this is a small cap Nifty, small cap 250. Now looking at the past performance, if you start allocating to small cap and mid cap, I'm sure there will be big surprises as far as you're concerned on the negative side. Again, repeating, flexi cap makes more sense. Let the fund manager decide where you should invest more or less. Now the question is, are we capable of doing such qualitative analysis on our own? And answer is clearly no. I don't expect the investors to understand, or even the MFDs to understand so much in depth as to what should they look for in a particular scheme, sectors, etc. But as against that, we can at least have some kind of knowledge on this aspect by what I have just explained to you. And on top of that, what we are going to do is on the next Monday. Ideally, I would like to do it every fortnight, this particular series of Jigyasa, but because of my prior commitment, on 9th of August, which is next Monday again, at the same time, we will get into a mind of a fund manager and understand what all does it look into to select schemes, stocks, sectors, business cycles, etc. So please join me again on 9th of August, 6 p.m. sharp, to get into a mind of a fund manager. To sum up, we need to do both quantitative and qualitative analysis while selecting scheme for investments. We tend to concentrate more only on quantitative analysis side and ignore qualitative side. And as I said, we as MFDs or investors do not need to replicate a fund manager's role, but at least make an effort to understand, because finally ये अपना खुद का पैसा है, कहाँ जा रहा है, कैसे जा रहा है, क्यों जा रहा है, उस जानने की कोशिश करने की एक effort करिएगा by understanding in the next session, by getting into a mind of a fund manager, what all should you be looking at and what do fund managers look in, and then based on that you decide your AMCs, your stock selection, your scheme selections, etc. You wish to know more, you can write to me at sunil@mrbond.in. My third book is coming soon, which is called Think Hatke. I have always thought Hatke, बहुत अलग से मैं सोचता हूँ. I've been one man against the entire mutual fund industry. Mutual fund industry has spoken about buy and hold, sip karo, bhul jao, do not time the market. I am saying just the opposite. I am saying that you need to time the entries as well as the exits. ये सब unlearn versus relearn जो है, उसकी भी हम sessions करेंगे. We will do topics which are extremely different, extremely important as far as the investors are concerned, MFDs are concerned, for them to understand. मेरी एक effort यही रही है throughout my career of 26 years in mutual fund industry and 36 years in the finance industry, how to give investors a smooth and less volatile investment journey. हम जो ये इस पे concentrate कर सके and investors are happy, then the entire industry will be happy. So that is our effort. I have already written 2 books which are available on Amazon.in, Pearls of Financial Wisdom, for anybody who's in the mutual fund practice, even for investors. It's in a very layman's language. Another one which is for investor awareness is Make Your Destination a Journey to Remember Through Financial Planning. Both are available on Amazon.in. I'm available. You can follow me on Twitter. I am Mr. Bond. I am Mr. Bond. I have a YouTube channel also where all my videos, etc., get posted. Hopefully, this particular video also will be posted on YouTube. And of course, we have MrBond.in, which is a B2B platform exclusively for the mutual fund distributors to empower themselves and guide their investors also. I must conclude by saying mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully. Thank you so much. Prashant, if you can identify Usha, please, from DSP. Hello, Usha. You're on mute.
Yes. Am I audible, Sunil?
Absolutely audible, Usha.
Thank you. Thank you, Sunil. Thank you for the wonderful session. I mean, you know, there's really nothing much to add after you have spoken. So I really thank all the participants who have joined and been part of this session. And as Sunil showed in the end, think Hatke. So DSP is thinking a little Hatke in this era where there is a lot of NFOs happening. We are sort of talking about existing fund, which has got a fairly strong track record of 24 years. Next year would be the 25th anniversary of DSP Flexi Cap Fund, which was earlier known as DSP Equity Fund. It was our launch fund, and we have repositioned that through a campaign called Old Fund Offer. And we strongly believe old is gold in terms of rolling returns, qualitative, quantitative factors, which Sunil mentioned. We feel we score reasonably high. And if you see the analysis Sunil did, in that too, we did have a reasonably good ranking. So do consider, it falls into the parameters that Sunil has been very strongly advocating through all his sessions. And it is a think Hatke idea. So that's it from my end, Sunil. Thank you very much for inviting me to say a few words to the partners.
Not at all. DSP is my partner in this venture, and I wish that we can do many more such sessions which are useful for the entire community, I would say. No, I want to give very unbiased opinion. I don't want to say just because the AMCs are doing something, should I blame AMCs or should I praise AMCs? Something similar. So let's all of us understand our own responsibilities and duties and accordingly act. And our actions and inactions are the final outcomes, which you have made your own choices and you have taken those chances. Be responsible for them is all I can say. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. And we shall see you again next week, same time, 6 p.m. Of course, the invites, etc., will start happening from tomorrow onwards. Good night.
Thank you.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.